Hi, I'm Jerry Kelvin, and my channel is all about photographing and filming wildlife. Now, what have I got in store for you today? Let's take a look. Well, hi and welcome to my wintry office. It's pretty cold and miserable today, but today is all about tonight, photographing and filming in the dark. Now, in my last video on YouTube, I talked about how to set the camera up and the flash for night photography, as well as getting the animals that we film and photograph to trust us with the light and the flash. Tonight is all about a perspective view of our subject, as well as getting them to pose in a different way for me by using a little technique I learnt last year. Anyway, my last video was my first time using the fong lightsphere for wildlife. Thought I'd give it a go and see what it was like. Well, it worked pretty well, and it helped out with a little aliasing problem I had, because it's Canon sensors, not particularly flash or full sunlight. It's the sensors get aliasing on the fine fur on the outer part of a subject. Agile Antechinus that I photograph, as well as native rat the Bogel and echidnas. They all have very fine fur, so right on the ends of the fur, the very tips, they're clear, like their whiskers, so we get this funny aliasing thing. Stopping down helps a little bit with our aperture, but I thought maybe the fong lightsphere might help me out a little bit, and it did, it helped out a bit. But because this dome is so thick, so dense, I'm not getting enough power out of it, so I need to come up a little bit closer. So I'll be doing that as well. The subject's pretty happy with me being around. They're very confident with me, so I should be able to sneak up a little bit more, get a bit closer, get some more power out of it. Now, how do I stop the light coming out 360 degrees? Because that is what it's designed for, and that's why I bought it for. When you're in a building doing your wedding photography, we get the bounce off every wall and the ceiling as well at the top, and it cuts down on shadows behind people, and it worked really well last year with a wedding I did. That's what I bought it for that particular wedding for some friends of mine. And once I get permission off them, I'll do a little ditty for YouTube on going from wildlife to wedding photography in the future. But getting back to the lightsphere, I found that if I put my carry bag for my chair when I'm in a fixed position with the tripod, camera on the tripod, I could use this to cut down the light coming out of the sides and at the back, so I can get more power out the front. So I was sitting there trying to work out how I could do that, and I saw the bag laying on the floor, and I thought, yes, if we wrap it around, use the string on the top that stops the chair falling out, tighten that up, it should work. And it did, it worked really well. Little sock cuts down the light, makes it come out the front. But it still wasn't enough light, so I'll creep up a bit further, see how we go with that. Now, the light I'm using to light up my scene is the menik 360. So that's 360 LEDs. Been a great light, had it for 2 years. It's been thrown around a lot in the backpack, and it's working really well. Touch wood, haven't had an issue with it yet. We get a dimmer switch on the back there. I got this one because it didn't have a Kelvin temperature adjustment, because I wanted to get full power. So we got full daylight power. If we have one that we can adjust with Kelvin temperatures, and we get that balance in the middle so that it matches up with our camera's Kelvin temperature, we lose a lot of light, because the orange ones don't have as much power as a daylight one, the clearer one. So that's why I got this one for. We also get a little battery meter. But that's in the form of little lights, so as the battery gets flatter we go down from full lights to 0, of course. So basic light, really good. As long as I'm 2 meters up to my subject, that's what it works best at with my XF300 video camera. And my animals don't care about it, so gained a lot of trust with them, and they don't care about the light at all. Well, that's enough of me waffling on. I wait for dark, go back out to where I've been photographing and filming my little carnivorous marsupial and the native rodent the Bogel. Well, what I'm going to do to get my animals to pose for me in a different way than they have been, my little clip here that I keep in my backpack all the time, I'm going to clip that onto another branch so that this branch will hang down and they'll rise up, so stand on their back legs, try and get the food off the end there. Just a different pose, see if it get something spectacular hopefully. They're getting very restless. They know that I'm here. They're just poking their noses out just a minute now. Little Bogel, so hopefully they'll do what the pose that I'm after. Right, I'll get this on, get this set up a bit better, put some food on the end, and I'll get into it. Well, what a spectacular night I've had. Lots of action. 4 Agile Antechinus males aggressively chasing each other because they hate to share food. Now, there's always a dominant male that takes over in the end, which has happened here tonight. One I call Little GT. He's got a little GT stripe on his nose. Always wins out in the end. And the native rat, the Bogel, they all gave me fantastic photographs. Standing up was just awesome. Changing things up worked really well. Otherwise, I was just getting normal boring shots. Come up, take a bit of food, sit there and chew on it. Maybe look around, get some nice glamour shots. But that's been about it. Not getting something action-packed like 2 males coming up sniffing each other or something like that. It's just a very rare event. So I needed to change it, and doing that worked really well. Now also we have to look at perspective. Getting a perspective view on the animal that we're photographing. Now because the Agile is the size of a mouse, about that big, it's much better to get down on eye level, or my favourite, which I did tonight because my back was killing me sitting in a chair, was a worm's eye view. I laid down on the ground, got this sheet of plastic that I'm sitting on now, laid on that and got some great shots of them. Makes them look taller, more their height, or worm's eye view makes them look taller. If we come up above them, then we're compressing their size down. It doesn't look quite as spectacular. changing focus point, because we've got to use one focus point for these little subjects I'm photographing here, and moving it up and down as they go to rise up. Move my focus point up so I keep their feet in the shot as well, so their whole body. It looked awesome. Worm's eye view, love it. My favourite position to take photographs of just about anything. Kids sports, well known for getting my arse wet on a netball court, because sitting down on the ground when your athlete jumps up to catch the ball, it looks more spectacular. It looks like they're doing a bigger jump. Right, well, that's perspective. Think about that when you're going to take any shot. What's going to look really good? Up above, eye view, or worm's eye view? Now the Gary Fong lightsphere worked a lot better, got a lot more light coming in, getting up a little bit closer. That was somewhere around 1.5, and we can't go much closer than that because this lens, the 70 to 300mm L lens, has a focusing distance, the shortest distance, closest you can get to a subject is 1.2. So just having that little bit of room, what's that, 300mm more, just helped me not to have any hassles. Had a lot of fun tonight, and that's enough of me waffling on. Now if you'd like to subscribe, click on the subscription button down below and you'll get notification whenever I do anything else. And if you'd like to go and have a look at all the things I've been doing over the years, like little ditties like this, other camera related stuff, and me practicing at wildlife documentaries, click on the icon down below. Now just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife. See ya. Gotten used to me being there. They're not upset with me at all. So close, and then I started waffling.